Crowds gather outside Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's office in Jerusalem as anger mounts against his government for failing to secure a hostage release deal with Hamas. Massive protests erupted across the country after 6 hostages who've been held by the Palestinian militant group since October 7th were found dead by Israeli forces in a Gaza tunnel.
You can't play with civilians' lives. You cannot do that. And we demand the deal to be right now. That's why we're marching for, that's what we're shouting for. There are many families, members of the hostages here saying words against the government and calling, just bring them home.
A candlelight vigil was held in Jerusalem for the 6 slain hostages, including Israeli-American Hirsch Goldberg-Pollen. Israel says the hostages were killed by Hamas militants shortly before its soldiers arrived in the tunnel in southern Gaza. But Hamas claimed the hostages had been killed by Israel's ongoing bombing of the Gaza Strip. Speaking on the deaths of the 6 hostages, Netanyahu insisted his government is conducting intense negotiations to reach a ceasefire deal, blaming Hamas for the delay.
המאמצים שלנו לשחרר את חטופינו נמשכים כל העת. מאז חודש דצמבר, חמאס מסרב לנהל משא ומתן אמיתי. לפני 3 חודשים, ב-27 במאי, ישראל הסכימה לעסקת שחרור חטופים בגיבוי מלא של ארצות הברית. החמאס סירב.
But there are those who say it's Netanyahu's hardline stance calling for the complete destruction of Hamas that has delayed a deal being secured after 11 months of negotiations. It's prompted a large-scale strike across Israel, organised by the country's powerful labour union. Opposition leader Yair Lapid called for civilian workers to shut down the economy to pressure the government to accept a deal to bring the remaining hostages home. That strike closing the country's largest airport and set to impact other transportation, healthcare and banking. The bodies of a dozen hostages have been repatriated to Israel in the past week. At least 100 still remain in Gaza. The Israeli military believes at least 1/3 of that number are no longer alive.
Today, I urge my government and all the states of the world to make a deal. Make it possible, make it happen. It's too late for us. It's too late for Carmel. I will never hug her again. But 101 people can still hug their families. For them, make the deal, save lives.
That deal would also save lives in Gaza, where more than 40,000 Palestinian civilians have been killed and over 95,000 injured during Israel's continuing offensive in the Gaza Strip. As outrage against the government spreads in Israel, protesters here say they feel it is a turning point to put an end to the war in Gaza. Dolphine, Chen and Rosie Grenenger for TaiwanPlus.